E3 is done and dusted, and it's finally time to talk about all the Nintendo Switch announcements. Hello everyone, I'm Scott from Nintendo Lounge. Joining me, as always, it's my man Jim. How are you doing, sir?
How you doing? I'm good, thanks. We've just calmed down a little bit from E3, and we're here to talk about some E3 shenanigans, boy.
Exactly. Now, this video is a little bit late, as you can probably tell, and the main reason for that is we've recorded this already, but Jimmy's microphone didn't want to work, and it ended up sounding like Nintendo 64.
Okay.
So we've finally had the time to sit down and re-record this, so hopefully it's still relevant. So what we're going to do...
Didn't have to call me out, but alright.
What we're going to do is we're going to go through all the Nintendo Switch announcements from E3, give our thoughts on them. Some of them are going to have longer thoughts than others. Some of them are just going to say the name of it and pretty much move on.
And move on, yeah. Because do we care? No.
Exactly. And speaking of, The Elder Scrolls Legends, a strategy card game, was announced at the Bethesda conference. Sort of strategy card game, Elder Scrolls, come to Switch. I don't care.
Yeah, no. Everything's basically a copy and paste of Hearthstone, so it doesn't really... And Hearthstone's already a copy and paste of other games and Magic and stuff like that, so... It's just the same as every other one. You collect the cards and you fight them, and most of the time it's just about collecting the cards. It's not actually about doing the battle stuff, so we don't really care.
But something we cared a little bit more about at the Bethesda showing was Fallout Shelter is now out for the Nintendo Switch. Came out the day it was announced, which was pretty cool. And yeah, it was an iOS and Android game, and then got ported to PS4 and Switch. Screw you, Xbox. Jimmy, have you downloaded it and given it a shot yet?
I did. I downloaded it like immediately after it was announced, but haven't really played it. I think I've deleted it now because I had to get storage space for another game. I don't know I forgot what I installed, but I had to make some space. It's cool that it's on Switch, but I don't really particularly have any interest to really play it that much, so it's cool though. It's definitely cool. It's just, I don't feel like playing it right now. It's
I'm
just
the
a lot
same.
of time and dedication, yeah.
I downloaded it, I've given it 5 minutes, and I was like, I don't know, it's not for the Switch,
Yeah,
but however, one of your mates is in love with Fallout Shadow, isn't he?
Oh yeah. I've got a mate that's really into it. Like he heard it was coming out, he's like immediately go to download it. So yeah, there's definitely an audience for it. So I'm like, cool, people are keen for it. So that's awesome.
Ubisoft had their press conference. It starts off with, as always, Just Dance 2019 coming to PS4,
Yes.
Xbox One, Xbox 360, Nintendo Switch,
Yeah.
the Wii U, and the Wii.
Huh?
No PS3 version, I'm sorry to say. Are you hyped for the new Just Dance?
Well, especially on the Wii, most definitely. That's all I'll be getting it for though. Just the Wii.
Just the Wii?
Just the
That's
Wii.
fair enough. But then they also showed us some other games, and this one was quite surprising because I didn't expect this one to get a Switch port, and that was Trials Rising. Now, the Trials games, I absolutely love them. They're so much fun.
Yeah, they're fun. Yeah.
There was a sort of knockoff Trials game that was released on the Switch about a month or so ago, and it was pretty rubbish.
Okay.
So it's good that we get a proper Trials game. Jimmy, have you had much experience in the Trials franchise?
Yeah, I've played it with a couple of friends. I haven't really played it on my own. I got it free on PS Plus this month, but I had to download it forced me to have to download the actual DLC and pay for that to actually play a lot of the levels. So I was kind of a bit turned off by that. But to play a new fresh game on the Switch makes me pretty keen. And it's especially cool since like before, yeah, as you said, we have like that one rip-off. And now we've got the official one. It's like when Brawl Out came out, we had the rip-off of Smash, and now we're getting actual Smash, so Brawl Out's relevant now. Remember Brawl Out?
I remember that game. But do you remember Mario & Rabbids Kingdom Battle, Jimmy?
Barely.
Oh, well, the Donkey Kong DLC was shown off. Donkey Kong in Mario and Rabbids Kingdom Battle. Jimmy sort of fell out of the Mario and Rabbids games, didn't you?
Yeah, no, they're good. It's good. Like I'll admit that it's fun, it's enjoyable. It's just that once I got past World 2, I was kind of like, I felt like that was kind of I burnt out on it. I was like, cool. Is there anything more to this that makes it more interesting? Like I'm aware there's bosses and different levels and stuff like that, and interesting new designs for things, but I was like, I felt like I was playing the same thing over and over and over again, and it wasn't really going anywhere, and I was kind of like, okay, I've had enough now. But you know, I've still got the game. I've contemplated trading it. I almost did trade it in, but then I did bring the cartridge. So I've decided it's Destiny. I'm going to keep it anyway. And I might jump back in on it like in the future or something like that. Especially with this DLC, I might jump back in on it just to get the DLC and try that out. So who knows?
Yeah, I mean the DLC looks kind of cool. There's some new characters, Donkey Kong, his movement abilities and all that kind of stuff look interesting. It's very different to the main game. And then Ubisoft, in their Ubisoft ways, have announced a gold edition of Mario & Rabbids, which includes the season pass and all that jam. And I'm a little bit salty about that, but it's Ubisoft.
Yeah,
that's what they always do.
Expect, yeah.
But this game, the next one, I'm pretty keen for this one. And this is Starlink Battle for Atlas. It was shown off last year at E3, and it was sort of like a Toys to Life sort of spaceship game, which was sort of like a good version of No Man's Sky. And then this year, they showed off more of the game. And then they're like, we've got one little other thing we'd like to show. And it was that Star Fox is going to be appearing in Starlink Battle for Atlas. So it's like we're finally getting a new good Star Fox game after the disappointment that was Star Fox Zero. Jim, your thoughts?
Well, I didn't play Star Fox Zero, so I don't have many opinions on whether this will be better or worse or whatever it may be. But it's cool just to have an interesting flying game, because I love flying in games. I love games that allow you to kind of freely fly around in a ship. My guilty pleasure is actually Star Wars Battlefront 2, the Starfighter Assault in that one. Starfighter Assault, yeah. I know not a lot of people are keen on that game at all, but the Starfighter Assault is something that's really fun, so I do like flying around in games and stuff like that. So if there's a game on the Switch that allows me to just fly around and shoot things and go to different worlds, then I'm keen on it. So this looks cool, and Star Fox is a cool extra bonus, so I want to try it out, but I don't know if I'll be there for the long haul, so we'll see. And then we had the big dog, and that was the Nintendo Direct E3. Me and Jimmy, we stayed up very late to watch this one. We didn't get to watch it live because we were going to do a reaction to it, and with live streams, you know, there's always the possibility of it buffering, and there's probably some technical issues with sound or stuff like that, so we decided to wait it out, wait for it to finish, and then download the video. And as we was waiting for it to finish, we were just like, this is a long direct. Yeah, because like I'd set up like a thing on Reddit to actually like email it to me, and I just didn't get the email. And then we checked a Reddit post that said we'll update with a link to the actual thing as soon as it goes live, and it wasn't going up. And it was like an hour after it started, and we were like, oh my god. But eventually we got it, and it was worth it because I've seen some reaction videos to the actual live event, and apparently there were some volume issues with the actual direct, so I'm glad we actually got to see it as an uploaded video. There was no audio issues or anything like that. It was all smooth and sailing, so it was worth it in the end, I reckon.
And the first game they showed off in the Nintendo Direct was Daemon X Machina, which, when it was first shown off, we were like, what is this? We thought, is it this franchise? Is it that franchise? I thought at first this could be a sequel to Xenoblade Chronicles X, because of the Gundams and all that kind of stuff, the Robot Boys. Then Jimmy suggested Star Wars.
Yeah, because it had lightsabers, of course. Duh.
Oh, sorry. But it looks kind of cool. It has a really cool art style, and the gameplay looks pretty interesting. I'm looking forward to seeing more about this game in the future. It won't be coming out till 2019, however. Jimmy, did you have any thoughts you wanted to share with the world?
Well, with this one, yeah, it just looks kind of cool, and I'm just glad that it's some new franchise that Nintendo's, you know, allowing to come into fruition. So yeah, keen. I don't know if I'll ever get it, but that being said, looks cool. So that's all I can say. Looks kind of cool.
It does. Looks kind of cool. But something that Jimmy doesn't seem to find cool is Xenoblade Chronicles 2. Jimmy tried about the first hour and a half or so of Xenoblade Chronicles 2, and he did not enjoy it at all. He was stuck on the first boss for about 30 minutes or so.
Alright, don't need to shame me. Come on now. It was hard. You saw me struggle. You saw what I was struggling with.
I did. You win. But they showed off the DLC for Xenoblade Chronicles 2, which is a prequel to the main game. It is titled Torna, the Golden Country, and is set hundreds of years in the past. And it looks kind of cool. It sort of changed up the mechanics of the game a little bit, makes it a bit more similar to the first game, in my opinion, which is better and more enjoyable. Jimmy, you probably won't try this one at all, though, will you?
I mean, if you want to let me have a go, if you want to, like, if I'm around yours and you're like, hey, try this out, you might like this combat better. And if I do, or whatever, if I like the gameplay style a lot better, then I might be like, cool, I might try the first one then. I might give it a go. So I might try it just for the sake of seeing how this one feels in comparison to what I tried, which I didn't like with Xenoblade Chronicles 2, but I might like this. So who knows? I'm willing to give it a chance. I'm not being cynical today. I'll give it a chance.
That rarely happens.
You're getting a rare gym today. Look at that.
That's crazy. However, with Xenoblade Chronicles 2, the DLC, you can get it as normal expansion pass DLC for the main game, or you can purchase the game as a physical standalone copy for the prequel, which is pretty cool. So if you don't want to get the main game,
let me
just
guess,
get the prequel.
You're going to get the full thing. You're going to buy the physical thing, are you?
Maybe. Who knows?
Of course you are.
Just because I've got 40 physical Switch games doesn't mean I'm going to get this.
I've got like 4.
That's fair enough. But there is a game that Jimmy finds quite cool. So I'm going to let Jimmy introduce this one. Jimmy, over to you.
Okay, so there's this game, right? It's a pretty niche one. And it's called Mario Party. It came back on the Nintendo 64. Not sure if you've you heard of that have you heard of that one before?
The what?
Nintendo 64.
I think so.
It's a pretty niche console. It had a really cool controller, really innovative controller. But the game that came out on there was Mario Party and Mario Party 2, Mario Party 3, and now we're finally getting the successor to those games because basically, I don't know about the ones in between 3 and like 8, but now we're finally getting a good one because as Scott will probably tell you, 9 was bad and 10 apparently, well, I played a bit of 10 and 10's garbage, but this one looks like straight up just good Mario Party, and I'm happy. I'm so happy. I was so excited. Everyone seemed to be bummed out about it, like, oh cool, Mario Party, whatever. But no, Mario Party is so good. It is such a good game. People need to play it. It's so fun. Have you played Mario Party? Like a good one?
Well, I played Mario Party 8, which was sort of like the last kind of... It's when they were slowing down, but it was still alright. And I also played Mario Party DS a lot, and I love that one. Okay.
Yeah, so you haven't played them at their peak, which was like 64 version. I'm gonna bring my Nintendo 64 when I visit
you're gonna bring in those nostalgia goggles.
I'm gonna bring my 64 to you, and you're gonna play some Mario Party. You're gonna see what I mean. You're gonna see what I'm talking about. It's great. It's gonna destroy our friendship forever, but it's fantastic.
Oh, well, at least that's not you've admitted we have a friendship. That's nice.
Yeah, first time ever, right?
Oh. So yeah, Super Mario Party for the Nintendo Switch, kind of cool. Has a lot of cool, interesting ideas. The idea of being able to link up two Nintendo Switches just by a swipe, and it connects the two. That's pretty cool. The return of the classic game board mode. No more having to be in a truck or a car or whatever it is.
Yeah,
you're all on your own spaces.
There's also like online as well that they've spoken about as well, which is kind of cool. But as I think you're aware that it's all kind of just the mini games. It's not the actual board itself. You can't play the board mode as online, which to me makes sense. But I don't know how you feel about that, right?
At first I was a bit like confused. I was like, why would you only do mini games and not like the proper Mario Party mode? But it kind of makes sense because Mario Party games can go on for quite a while, maybe up to an hour or so. And doing that online, you might have people who are like, oh, I'm going to go toilet, get a drink.
Leave. They turn the console off and or the console runs out of batteries, something like that. Something stupid happens like that. It's a handheld console, so you can't have long-winded games and expect everyone to stay in. So you probably want to, from a design standpoint, have it just like 10 mini games in a row, and whoever gets the most coins wins. That'd probably be the best way to go about it, and that's probably exactly what they're doing with that one. So that makes sense to me, and I'm keen on that. But I'm also most keen to just get together at a party to play some Mario Party, because that's what it's designed for. It's bloody great, so I'm excited. I can't wait. We're gonna have some Mario Party parties. It's gonna be great.
We're going to have some Mario Party parties, and we're going to have some Mario Party videos coming out on Nintendo Lounge when they come out. Look forward to that. Jimmy's going to hold me hostage to just record like a bunch of them. So try to look forward to those, and hopefully we don't upload too many and wear you out. But next up, we have Fire Emblem. Ready for this? Three Houses. A bit of a weird name. Three Houses after Awakening, Fates, and then just Three Houses.
Three houses sitting on a hill.
Exactly. So they announced this game last year, about a week after the Nintendo Switch presentation thing. And they said that this game would be coming out in 2018. And I was like, ooh, it's next year. I'm pretty keen. And then at E3 they announced it'll be coming out next year, 2019. Which is a bit of a shame, but the game does look pretty cool. It has a really cool showcase of the action type thing. In 3DS games, when you'd go to attack a unit or whatever, it'll just be your character and the character you're attacking, and it'll just show you them hitting them. But now, when it goes in to view the battle, it feels like an actual grand battle with dozens of soldiers and stuff like that, and it makes it feel like a proper battlefield, which is something that's cool. It kind of reminds me sort of like Total War or something like that. But Jimmy's not too keen on the Fire Emblems, are you?
I thought it looked cool because, like, from what I've seen from Fire Emblem, as you've said, it's just kind of like you attack and then it's like shing, attack the person, and it's, you know, it doesn't look particularly exciting in terms of how you as a player is going to respond to that. Like, you don't feel like, oh, I've done this huge thing, I've attacked someone and I've attacked their whole army and stuff like that. But in this one, I feel like there's a great player feedback where you do something and you visually see a huge impact in the game happen. I feel like that looks more appealing to actually play from my perspective. So this does look like a better game. Is it probably for me? Maybe not. I'm not really a strategic kind of player, so I don't really particularly get into strategy games, but it does definitely look cooler. So I'll give it that. But that's all I have to say.
Now, next up is a game which me and Jimmy are unironically loving at the moment. We never thought we would love this game, but it caught us, it's grabbed us, and it won't let us go, and that is Fortnite Battle Royale. It was announced for the Switch and then released that exact same day. About an hour later, we downloaded it. As soon as it came out, I was like, oh my god, Fortnite's out. Downloaded it, played it, and yeah, it's actually just fun. It's a fun free game. A lot of people like to hate on it because it's the popular thing, and everyone's like, oh, Fortnite's for babies and all that kind of stuff. But it's fun, it's free, you don't have to pay anything. You can pay if you want cosmetics and all that lame stuff.
But you know, if you're a smart person, don't buy anything. Just play it and have fun and just
exactly.
Get
the
over
baseline game is fun enough as it is. You don't need your cool dancing and your boogie downs and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, Jimmy, what do you think about Fortnite on the Switch?
Oh yeah, no, exactly what you think. The game is fine. Like, people, as you said, people just hated it, but it's fine. It's not a bad game. It's not an offensive game. It's just, it plays and it does well and it performs well. Unlike another game of a similar play style, it actually can perform. And it's just fine. Play it if you want to. Otherwise, just play a game like Splatoon. And if you get bored of Splatoon, get this game for free and try it out. So, again, another shooting game on the Switch, and I'm it's cool to see it. I have no issues with it. Like other people just have issues with it. For no reason whatsoever.
And you know what else is cool, Jimmy?
What?
Indie games. We got quite a few indie games that were showed off during the direct. I'm not too keen on these. I don't really care for them. However, we'll go over them. First up, here we have the sequel to Overcooked. Any guesses what that's called?
I'm going to say Overcooked 5.
Close, but just -3. That is Overcooked 2. Coming to the Nintendo Switch sometime in the future. I don't really know when. Have you ever played the first Overcooked game before, Jimmy?
No.
Well, neither have I. So moving on, we have Killer Queen Black a pretty cool looking sort of stabby game, which reminds me a bit of Balloon Fight for the NES.
Yeah.
But it's based off an arcade game, isn't it, Jimmy?
Yeah, it's pretty popular arcade game, and it was only available as arcade, but it has a huge following. I look up the game like after the leaks came out, and I was like, cool, this thing's an actual thing. And this is kind of the game that really kind of confirmed that those leaks were real. So, and after we've watched it, yep, they were real. They were real leaks. And yeah, it looks really cool. I'm keen to actually give it a go. It looks like a really cool, just online, intense, fast-paced game to play. So looks cool. Anyway, moving on.
Moving on, we have Hollow Knight, a really beautiful-looking platforming type game.
Boy.
Jimmy knows more about this one than me, so I'm going to hand it over to Jimmy.
Well, I don't personally know a lot about it, but I know it's like a Metroidvania kind of thing. Which there's a lot of those games, but apparently this one is exceptionally really good. Like, I've seen people just praise games before. Like, you see people praise games, but I've never seen people praise a game as much as they have this one. So that makes me more intrigued to get this one. I love me some really good action indie games. You got like Ori and the Blind Forest, which I don't think is indie anymore. I guess technically it is, doesn't matter. Hyper Light Drifter, I mention that all the time. And then you've got a whole bunch of other ones as well. This one looks like another really good one to add to that mix, so I will probably give it a go in the future when I have the muns to actually go pick it up. Probably soon, man. That'll probably be soon. But I've got some games to play at the moment anyway, so I might put it off for a little bit longer. But who knows? It looks cool.
Next up, we have Dragon Ball FighterZ, or Dragon Ball Fighters, depending on how you like to pronounce it. It's a game that's been out on the PS4, Xbox One, and PC for quite some time, but Nintendo Switch fans have been asking and begging for it for quite some time. All Dragon Ball fans had on the Switch since then was Xenoverse 2, which looks like a really cool sort of 3D fighting game. I'm not big on Dragon Ball, but the game looks pretty fun. But Dragon Ball fans finally get what they want. Fighters, or FighterZ, is finally coming out for the Nintendo Switch in September, I believe it is. And a cool little pre-order bonus, if you pre-order the game, is you get a NES copy, SNES copy of an old Dragon Ball game that was never released in the Americas. It was only released in some European countries. So that's kind of a cool little bonus they're throwing in there.
That's pretty cool. I didn't know that. That's kind of cool.
Jimmy, do you like Dragon Ball at all? The Dragon Ball Fighters, Xenoverse, any of that anime stuff?
Nah, not really at all. But I will give that this game is developed by Bandai Namco, and that puts a lot of hope in it. And one thing we'll mention, I think, in the next video is that this game inspired a little bit of things in the next Smash game. But again, I'll talk about that later. But yeah, no, it looks cool. But again, I'm not particularly invested in Dragon Ball, so I don't know. We're not going to buy any of these games.
Probably not.
Except for Mario Party.
Exactly. Yeah. So you've left me off quite confused when you said that Smash took some elements from Fighters. So we're going to talk more about that later on in our Super Smash Bros. Ultimate discussion coming up soon. I'm looking forward to it because I just want to know what Jimmy's talking about. But stay tuned for our little discussion about that. All the characters, the stages, our hopes and dreams, our thoughts on Ridley and Inklings, all that jazz. But until then, stay subscribed.
Catch you later. Bye.